Alright guys, so we're going to try and finish off all the track guides that I haven't done up until this point. Obviously now that the season is finished, there's a lot of tracks that I didn't get a chance to do over the course of the season, so I'm going to do them now, and today's track guide is going to be at Zandvoort. So let's get straight into the Hotlap, and then I'll take you around the track slowly, giving you guys all the details on how to be quick around the circuit.
Let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid.
Alright guys, so coming up for the final corner, you want to open up DRS, obviously on a quali lap as soon as you can, get the best line through, and we start a lap of Zandvoort. So, coming up to the first corner, you want to be braking around about the 75-meter board. Even if you don't have the racing line on, the best braking point is the F1 2021 logo that you see above your heads. That is roughly where you should be braking. Just after this, boom, on the brakes. Straight line, just so that you don't lock up or lose the rear or anything like that. Down into fourth gear. You want to hug the inside curbing, not too much, because if you do touch that curb on the inside, you will spin, but just enough to get the car rotated around. Be smooth with the throttle and just use all the track that you need to, just so you can get that foot down that much quicker. And then if you watch the F1 esports event, I actually do the same thing. You want to be in 6th gear coming into this next corner, and just before the 50-meter board, or where that Amarco sign is, I probably butchered the name, but it doesn't matter. You want to use all the track on the entry, and then flip the car in 5th gear to this corner here. Try not to touch the curb because it will cause you to be a little bit slidey on exit. And then for this corner, just as you're passing the Fanatec logo on the left hand side, that's when you want to brake in a straight line down into 3rd gear. You want to hit a double sort of apex here, so you want to start hitting the apex here, and then let the car run a little bit wide in 3rd gear, short shift up to 4th so that you can get that traction down, and then go for a later apex here. The car, it doesn't matter what setup you've got. If you've got, you know, a car with more understeer, a car with more oversteer, the rear of the car is always slidey on exit, so you do want to be careful with how you put the throttle down going through this corner, but you do want to be quick with it, obviously, or else you will lose time all the way down here. And then we end sector 1. Now, in wet conditions for this corner, you want to brake where you see the Pirelli, the 2 Pirelli signs are. But in dry conditions, you want to completely go past that. And as soon as you start turning into this corner, you want to lift off, have a little bit of light braking, and downshift into 6th gear, and then just hold it. Make sure you get your foot smoothly back onto the throttle, because if you are aggressive, the rear of the car is going to spin on you here. Sector 2, this is where the tires become really hot, and this is where you can lose a lot of time, or you could even spin because of how hot the tires start to get. So you want to be very smooth with the throttle in 6th gear. Use all the track on exit if you need to. And then for this next corner, around about 75 meters, you're going to be in 7th gear. You want to have a light braking once again. Just flip the car in 6th gear, 1 downshift. Try not to hit this curb, because if you do hit this curb, it can actually shoot you out wider than you would expect to, especially since you're in 6th gear. You are carrying a lot of speed here. And then for this next corner, once again, you know, it's very consistent with some of the braking points, around about 75 to 65 meters. That's when you want to start braking. You want to have a heavier braking than you think. It looks like you can carry a lot of speed into this corner, but it does tighten up as you get to the exit. So you want to have a little bit more braking than you think you would. So probably around about 60%, maybe 70% braking here. Downshift into 4th gear, hit the apex right here, boom. And as you can see, the track tightens up on exit. So you want to short shift up to 5th, just because, as I said, the rear tires are going to be quite hot, so getting traction is going to be very difficult. So the car is definitely going to be quite slidey on you in the rear. Short shift up to 5th, and then as you've passed the 50-meter boards here, so I would say around about 40 meters, so around about here is when you want to start braking. Downshift into 3rd gear, hug this corner as tightly as you can without hitting it, because similar to the first corner, this curb will spin you. And then, as I said, this is probably the point at the track where your tires, your rear tires, are at their hottest. So you want to short shift back up to 5th, just to minimize any wheel spin, because any wheel spin will just cause the car to be all over the place. Open up DRS, keep the car wide, and then shoot it over to the left. You got to be in 7th gear, obviously, with DRS, and then just as you're passing this 100-meter board, when you hit this curb here, that's when you want to start braking. Straight line down into 3rd gear. You might want to use 4th, just depending on your driving style, but I use 3rd personally. And then just ride over this curb. This curb is can be quite tricky because it can shoot you out a little bit more further than you were expecting. So maybe carry a little less speed than you think you would if you're going to cut that curb. And then boom, try and be as close to this curb as you can just to minimize distance throughout this corner. Short shift up to 4th. Get that run off here, and then for the final corner, you want to brake just after the 50-meter board in 6th gear down into 5th. Hug this inside curbing here without hitting it, and then use all exit if you need to, and then you just want to take the shortest line to the finish line so that you can finish a lap of Zandvoort. So this is going to be the end of the track guide. If you guys did enjoy this video, if you learned from it, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys soon in my next video.